That's actually a singing warm-up. Do you know that?
Mm-mm.
It's one of my favorite ones to do. You do it and then you sound a lot better and your voice doesn't hurt. You're supposed to go high and low and...
You guys do realize that this is live, right?
She just continued.
She's like, I don't give a fuck. Let's do it.
And this is Kentucky Hot Brown Boys.
Don't worry, Stevie. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to do that. I learned my lesson. You asked me politely not to scream when I came in, so I'm going to be nice, and I'm not going to do that. So welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Kentucky Hot Brown Boys. I'm your host, Jerry Saylor. As always, we are coming to you live from the Brown Sound Studios, deep within the heart of Independence, Kentucky. In the studio with me, as always, the lady who's afraid to go deaf, Miss Stevie.
Hi!
Hi, Stevie. Are you nervous this week?
No.
No, you're not nervous?
No.
Picking the topic and everything?
No. I mean, I've only got 2 people to let down, so it's really not that scary.
I mean, there are other people that watch this show.
Yeah.
You could let them down too.
Yeah, but, you let down your mom. That's pretty much the worst it can get, so.
True.
Which you won't do.
I know.
Nah.
You just breathing still is kind of a feather in her cap.
Aw. That's so sweet.
The other voice you're hearing on the microphone, ladies and gentlemen, he's kind of become a staple around here. Mr. Justin. How's it
Hi.
going? Why do you always look like you're totally surprised?
You look like you're holding them hostage.
I could be.
Yeah.
You can't really see his legs. His legs could be duct taped to the chair. You never
Please,
know.
I need sun.
You are looking a little pasty white over there, man. Your hair's looking good, though. It's looking
Yeah.
real good. Did you shave it again?
Yeah.
I'm assuming?
Mandy took care of it for me.
Nice. Did you go all the way down to the scalp?
No, I didn't use a razor.
No straight razor? Man,
Just some clippers, man.
there you go.
Lowest setting.
It's the way to do it.
Feels good.
Yeah.
I was sweating today, though, and no hair to stop it. So
Feel-
it's just
feels
going right in
weird
my
to
eye.
sweat with no hair, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just drips down and gets all up in your business.
It was weird the other day. It was kind of chilly out and raining,
Yeah.
and my head got cold, and my scalp went numb. So I rubbed and I could feel my scalp with my hand, but I couldn't feel my hand with my scalp. It was really odd.
Hold on. Say that again. You couldn't feel your...
Yeah, my scalp went numb,
Right.
so I could feel my scalp with my hand,
Yeah.
but I couldn't feel my hand with my scalp. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I just didn't hear it
There's
right the
just
first
not a
time. It just
joke.
sounded weird. Yeah.
You're looking for the joke.
No,
it's not in there.
it just sounded weird the first time you said it. It sounded like you said the same thing twice, but then when you repeated it back, it processed. I don't know.
Right.
I'm all discombobulated. I got the vaccine yesterday.
Ooh.
First dose?
No, not yesterday. 2 days ago. See, discombobulated. No, I went with the Johnson & Johnson, the one and done.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fuck yeah.
I was just like, screw it. I don't want to have to go back and get a second one. So I just got it. Yeah, I don't know if you had any side effects from getting yours.
Yeah, the Moderna.
Yeah, did you have any really bad side effects?
Oh
from
yeah, that one fucking whooped my ass. The second round.
Yeah.
First round, I didn't even notice.
Right.
Second round, yeah, I was out whole day.
Yeah.
Came on quick, fucked me up, and then went away quick.
That's how mine was pretty much. Like yesterday morning, I woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and I thought I was gonna fucking die. Like I was sweating, but I was ice fucking cold. Like I was shivering. What woke me up was my teeth chattering.
Yeah.
Like I was that fucking cold. And then I couldn't fucking fall back asleep. I went all day. I tried to take naps off and on whenever I could catch a break here and there. Could never fall asleep. And finally I was just like, screw it. Like I'm going to try to go to bed. And about midnight or so, I went to bed and I thought, I'm not going to be able to fucking fall asleep. And I was out.
Yeah.
And then I woke up this morning and I was feeling fine. Still a little sore, but not bad. But God, it was horrible. I thought, why did I do this to myself?
Yeah, like give me COVID. Fuck it.
Yeah, like this is shitty. I'd rather be in a hospital, you know. But yeah, it was bad. I thought, I hope to God this goes away soon. I was surprised it only lasted a day. I'm hoping it doesn't come back. Like every time I finally sleep good, it like, you know, come back or whatever, and then like goes away, you know, comes back, goes away and shit. I hope it's not like that.
Yeah.
Like, I got you, bitch. Fuck that. That's too much. I couldn't handle that.
All right.
I put it to you this way. I felt so bad yesterday that I was like, if I feel like shit tomorrow, I'm not going to do a show. Because like I couldn't wear headphones, I'll tell you that. I probably couldn't even sit under this light. The fucking headache I had, oh God, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I found myself just sitting like this for most of the day,
But you
blocking the light. It was terrible.
Sounds like you picked your uterus up and moved on.
Yeah. I picked my uterus up, I put my purse down,
Yeah.
and got the sand out of my vagina.
You know, I get my brain zapped every single day, and I don't complain about it nearly as much as you complain about getting a shot.
True.
Yeah, very true. The shot wasn't a problem. Like my arm didn't even hurt. But the after effects, it was bad. It was bad.
All right.
I'd probably take a good brain zapping as opposed to that all day. I don't know. But anyway, Stevie, you got some topics, a topic for us to talk about tonight, a topic that you're pretty passionate about, it seems. Tell us all about it. Tell us a little bit more about it, if you will.
Well, I didn't really know what to talk about coming in
Right.
today. Thought about it all week. And yeah,
Did you think about it all week or just like a couple hours before we started?
both.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
I would think about it and I'd go, I don't know, I'll think about it later. And then later would come and then I'd be like, I want some tea. And then, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't really have anything current to talk about, but the only thing that came to mind was like an ingrained badass story of Mary Vincent. So figured I'd talk about her. She's pretty cool.
And who is Mary Vincent? What is she badass for?
She is currently an artist, a mother of 3, and a victim's advocate. And what she's most known for is overcoming an attack when she was 15 years old.
Oh, wow. She was only 15. That's crazy.
Yep. So
What kind of attack actually was it?
I guess to start the story, you got to go back to California. I think it was in the 1980s or the 1970s. I forget which. And
1978?
I think so. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that's what the Wikipedia page said a few minutes ago.
I think it was 1978.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was 15. She was hitchhiking.
Was she wearing bell bottoms?
I have no idea.
Probably bell bottoms.
Were bell bottoms still a thing in 78?
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
I was
hitchhiking.
thinking
Yeah.
real hard. I had to give him some space.
Yeah.
She was hitchhiking, and she was with a group of hitchhikers, and this guy pulls up. He says he's got room for one. He says it's Mary. And everyone's like, don't get in that vehicle. And she's like, I'm tired. I'm 15 years old. I want to go home. So she gets in, and he's like this old dude. He looks like a grandpa. They're driving. At one point, he like gets out, and she thinks, if this guy's a weirdo, I'm going to have to like run. And her shoe's untied, so she like opens the door to tie her shoe, and then he hits her over the head with something, and then she wakes up in the back of the van, and he rapes her. It's awful. It lasts for hours, and then I think
And this guy was an old man?
he was like maybe 60 or 50 or something. He just looked older.
I was going to say, an old man going that long? It's almost unheard of.
He is a monster.
True, true.
He was like 36 or something. He's super old.
I mean, to a 15-year-old.
True, true.
He was
yeah.
like Jerry's age.
Yeah. You need a ride later? I got a van. Yeah.
Oh.
I know, that was bad.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
Anyway, so he
raped her in the back of the van.
Right. And then he decides,
She
it's
tried to get
over.
away already, right? Because she knew something was up.
She didn't try to get away. She was just tying her shoe. And that's when he...
Oh, so she wasn't gonna
No, she
jet.
wasn't even running.
Okay. So
he
she
was
was
out
like,
of the van. She was tying her shoe. That's when he
Gotcha.
just struck.
Do you think he struck because he thought she was trying to get away?
I don't know. I mean, he was going to attack at some point, so might as well.
damn.
Whenever.
Makes a point. Or makes a good point, I guess.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's over. And I forget the exact details, but basically, he winds up chopping off one of her arms, right? With a fucking hatchet or some shit. And...
What? Chopped off both her arms?
Chopped off one of her arms.
One of her arms.
And she tries to fight, and she's holding on to him with one of her arms, and he swings, and then she notices that where she was holding him, her hand is not connected to her arm anymore, but it's still gripping, and he's trying to shake it off. And
Wow.
yeah.
That's intense.
So he chops off both of her arms, and then he, throws her down a hill, basically, and leaves her for dead, and drives off, and she lays there for whoever knows how long, just bleeding out, and she doesn't want to die, and she's, a badass. So she's
got a strong will to live, sounds
she's
like.
a badass.
For 15, yeah.
Yeah. She digs her stubs into the mud
What?
to kind of.
How far up her arm did he cut off? Like elbow down, shoulder down?
I don't remember. She talked about what happened on a TV show, I Survived, and I think you can see her prosthetics,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really remember.
Okay.
So to clot her wounds, she stuck it in the mud.
She stuck them in the mud, and
That's
then
smart.
she began to, without arms, climb back up this hill onto an interstate. And she was, naked and bleeding out, and at one point this car drove by, and it was, these boys in it, and she was like, hey, and then they saw a naked, bleeding person, and they drove off, because that's probably terrifying. And she wound up walking for 2 miles, and this couple...
I'm going to stop you right there for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of skewer off into a totally wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that group of boys was like, hey, it's a hitchhiker. Let's pick her up. We might get a hand job. And they pulled up and noticed she didn't have any fucking hands. And it was just like, fuck this. And took off.
Yeah,
That's pretty wrong, right?
that was it.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Was it?
I mean, as far as jokes go, yeah, that was, but not
Not in reality.
not for this tone.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry.
Sorry.
She's still a badass.
Continue, yes.
Yeah.
But
So-
I would like to think that if I drove up on a bloody person that needed help, I wouldn't drive away. But I've never been in
Yeah.
that situation.
Well-
I could. I mean, that would be traumatizing in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, they were supposedly teenage boys or something like that. So, they could have been
They were definitely
Going on
looking
a-
for a hand job from
going
a
on a
hitchhiker.
joyride, or they could have been oh shit, that's a ghost, and, who knows. But anyway, this couple sees her. I think they're on their honeymoon or something like that. And they
What a
pull
memorable
over.
honeymoon,
Yeah.
you know?
They pull over. They help her. Eventually, she gets to the hospital. 2 weeks into it, she gets her prosthetics and stuff. But as soon as she gets there, she describes what this guy looks like. She will not go to bed. She's describing what this guy looks like, and it's so detailed and accurate. They're able to immediately identify him, and his name is Larry Singleton. And they pick him up, and he goes to court, and she testifies against him. And at some point, he gets close enough to her that he whispers in her ear that even if it takes him till he dies, he'll finish the job.
So wait, is he did he confess?
No, he claimed the whole time that he was innocent and that she was a hooker.
Oh, really? Well, how would he know
Did
she
he
was a
adm-
hooker?
Did he admit that he knew her?
He said he was just all over the place. He said someone else was driving his vehicle. He said that she was a $10 whore. He said that she was actually threatening him and trying to get money out of him.
Now,
all that
$10
stuff.
in 1978, that was a lot of money back in 78, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Probably.
I wasn't alive back then, so
Yeah.
I would imagine it was a lot of money.
Probably not if he's calling somebody that. Probably like $20.
$10.
$25.
I don't know.
2-bit hooker, maybe. I bet you.
$10.
Oh, he did say $10
Yeah.
specifically.
$10
I, don't
a
know.
night.
I would think that was.
She can't give me
Uh-huh.
hand jobs, so
I know.
I guess she would have to go cheaper on the other services.
Would
No,
you go cheaper
bad-
on the
bad-
other services,
bad.
or?
She's a badass.
Well, yeah. Would she have to go
But-
cheaper on the other services, though? I mean, it's kind of like an exclusive,
Yeah.
price point. At
$10
that
bucks.
point, yeah.
Anyway,
See, walking
Yeah,
in
sorry.
tonight, I was like, you're going to have to find something that's funny that they're going to like or they're going to hate the podcast. And I was like, well,
I'm not hating it
no.
at all. I think this is great.
it's very interesting, but probably not the best fit for this podcast. But I didn't know what else to talk about, so you're getting this.
It's
Oh,
okay.
Are you getting offended?
No.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
I didn't want to
We
offend.
can't.
I
we
didn't
can't
want to
make
offend
jokes.
you.
No,
Stevie.
as like totally cool as it is to make fun of a 15-year-old who got her arms chopped
We
off.
didn't make fun of her.
Right.
My joke was more towards him.
Anyway.
But go ahead.
We're in trouble.
I know. I can tell. She's got the
Yeah.
fire in her eyes,
She's-
man.
How do you have the mom look without being a mom?
I feel like we're gonna get a stern talking to
Yeah, I
after
know.
this.
Anyway, so he winds up going to prison, and he's sentenced to 14 years, and he's a model prisoner, so they
Who
let
the
him out
fuck
in
gets
8.
14 years for murder?
Uh,
or not
it-
even, or
He
like
didn't murder her yet.
attempted murder.
Rape and
Yeah.
attempted murder, but it's 78, and women don't have rights until like 2010. So.
That's fucked
Oh,
up.
that's true. Yeah.
So he gets out early, but
On good behavior.
on good behavior.
What the fuck?
He's an old man. What's an old man gonna do in prison but like sit around and like eat and read books and shit, play checkers or something?
And he tried to sue her from jail, I think.
He tried to sue her,
Yeah,
so he like fought it tooth and nail. Like, I'm innocent. This bitch is crazy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
You hear about shit like that, and then every once in a while, like the bad guy wins. Oh,
Yeah. Every now and again, not all the time.
right.
But
Anyway.
No, it's very frequent, very frequent.
Like, oh, I slipped
Yeah.
and my fist got hurt on her face, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. So he was sentenced to 14, got out in 8.
8 years, 4 months, but no place in California wanted him. So they would try to place him somewhere, and everyone would be like, nope, we hate you. And they would make him go somewhere else.
Oh, what like a halfway house type deal, or what do you mean like no place? What kind of place?
Like the actual like districts or towns in California, they just didn't want him. Like the people hated him so much that it was like a danger to his safety.
They
and-
ran him out of town pretty much.
Yeah, so they didn't like
Okay.
him. So eventually, I don't know where, but he winds up like in the middle of nowhere or something in like a trailer, and that's where he's doing his thing. And he winds up murdering a woman.
Shocker.
Yeah, she was a mother. Murders her.
didn't see that coming.
Nope. And then he gets the death sentence for it. So Mary testified against him a second time.
How's
Put
that?
him away.
How's that possible? Like a character witness?
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
but yeah. So
And
So what's she up to now?
like I said, she's an artist. She's a victim's advocate. She tends to stay away from like the limelight and stuff. And
Have you seen any of the art that she puts out?
no, but I do know that
what
a
kind
lot
of
of it.
what kind of art does she do?
She does like paintings and stuff.
Man,
I could make a joke, but I'm not going to. Go ahead.
that'd be challenging.
Well, she also like modified her own prosthetics and stuff too. So
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard she was like a tinkerer. She liked to tinker around with things and stuff.
yeah.
It's kind of cool.
She wanted to be a dancer when she was younger, but they actually used like stuff from her legs to kind of fix her arms a little bit.
Oh, like, tendons.
and muscles or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she's a mom. It took her a long time to get to a good place, but supposedly she's a lot better.
I
and-
imagine it would take quite a while to come back from something like that.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, but she's a badass, and there's a lot of women like her out there that like survive attacks. She's like a pretty big name, I'd say, because the whole sequence of events, I didn't even do it justice talking about it, but the whole sequence of events was just crazy. But
Yeah,
people are badasses.
It's just not fair that men are just naturally stronger. I think we should like beef women up, so they're equally strong.
Wouldn't it?
So they could.
Are you kind of like forcefully like beefing them up? Because I think that would probably be not cool either.
No, genetically or something.
Wouldn't that not be cool either?
Yeah,
Aren't
probably
women
not.
perfect just the way they are?
They are, but there's some creepy dudes out there.
True.
It's not
True.
fair.
It's not fair that the law and public opinion seems to take men's sides all the time.
Yeah, that's fucked up too.
I wouldn't really say public opinion. Well, not in '78 apparently, or whenever he got out, because hell, they ran him out. They ran him off. Public opinion then was get the fuck out.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
victim blaming. Like, oh, she shouldn't have been wearing that dress.
Oh, okay.
That kind of
Gotcha.
shit.
I remember being in high school, like 13, and there was something going on where like this teenage girl had been like gang raped or something, and it was videotaped and stuff. And I would watch the news. It was, for some reason, the news was on in my high school about it, and all the reports were just talking about the poor boys whose futures were going to be ruined if they got charged with this kind of thing.
Is that like a football team kind of thing?
It happens so often,
I think I remember something about that. It's been a while back though. You would have still been in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like they say shit like, oh, well, she shouldn't have been at a party drinking, and no, guys shouldn't rape fucking women.
True.
That's just plain.
Like you hear that all the time. You hear like, oh well, especially like when it comes to dress code and stuff in schools. They're like, well, girls can't wear this because it might be distracting to boys. True, but also boys should learn to
mind your own business.
mind your own business.
Yeah.
Yeah, not pay attention to it.
It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
It is hard to do though when your hormones are raging
And all these guys, like they have wives and daughters, and it's
Yeah.
hard. Like, how could you separate like your family from the way that society treats women? Like, having a wife and a daughter, it's like, there's still creeps out there. They have a wife and daughter, and they treat women the same. It's like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So does she just like advocate for other, like other victims? I guess.
Yeah. Victims advocate. I don't know, like, the extent of how active she is. I don't know if she has, like, I don't know. I think just telling her story and getting it out there is, like...
It's pretty incredible. I'm surprised they haven't made a movie about this, honestly. It seems like something they would make a movie out of.
Probably will, right? Or maybe not. I don't know.
Well, you never
There's
know.
so many stories, though.
She may not have sold her rights. She may have been approached, and she was just like, no. I'm not going to sign off on this. I don't want my story being made into a movie.
Looks like Mandy filled us in. He would have been 50 at the time.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a while back. And she says, how about you raise your boys to be respectful of women? That's very true.
True.
Yeah. Thank you, Mandy, for commenting. Surprised we haven't had other commenters yet. At least one or two.
Where's Dank, man?
I know.
You guys were late today. He's got his own life.
He's got shit to do. Building stuff for SpaceX and having fun.
Yeah.
Getting high and playing video games and shit.
You guys ever hear about the German guy? It was a long time ago where he dug out like a dungeon under his house, and like had a daughter that he locked in that dungeon, and he would regularly just go down and rape her.
Oh, something like that. It sounds familiar.
And then he
yeah.
actually had a kid with his daughter, and then she raised the baby in there. I think she ended up escaping, right? Have you heard this story?
There's a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, anymore,
Like,
everybody's got a hole in their basement or something.
what the fuck, man?
crazy.
Shit is crazy.
You got to be crazy to do some shit like that. You know,
Man, I have trouble just building a shed, let alone fucking
a whole
a
torture
rape.
dungeon.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
That's just
Like, that's like a whole nother level of like motivation. Like,
yeah. Got to
man.
get my torture dungeon fucking built, man.
Yeah.
It's killing me.
But his own family.
Yeah, even
That's so fucked
that's a
up.
whole nother level right
And you
there.
know his wife like had to overlook it.
Oh yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Like, can't I go see
what
our
was the
daughter?
name of that? Can you look that up?
Oh, yeah. There's Dan Crusader.
Hey, Dank.
Yeah, I'm busy working. See, building stuff for SpaceX, man.
Yeah. Do you really work for SpaceX? I got a resume for you.
I don't know if he
you
works
do.
for SpaceX or if he works for a company that like
Works
does
for,
stuff for SpaceX. Yeah,
like a SpaceX contractor.
same thing, really. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Has she like advocated for any other like notable survivors?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Is she still an artist? Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so. She was only 15 at the time.
Yeah. Some of her pieces sell for like over 2,000, I think. So.
Oh wow. Well, what about the?
Larry Singleton, he
Yeah.
died in 2001.
Did they get to fry him?
I don't know.
No.
I don't give a shit about him. He sucks.
He said, "Yeah, contracts." Was that the only thing that he was ever like jailed for? Was those two incidents?
I think so. But I mean, you don't. I mean, murderers like that, like rapists and murderers, don't start. She wasn't his first victim. Basically.
Couldn't have been if he was already an old man at the time.
If he was 50, I mean, it could have been that he started late. Like, not everyone begins when they're like 20 or 30.
Right.
But you need to escalate usually.
Yeah. That seems like a very big first step.
Yeah, and
You know,
you don't. It's just not.
especially if he's picking up hitchhikers. You know, he could have been doing that for years.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy to think about. Have either of you guys ever hitchhiked?
No.
I've never hitchhiked per se. I have taken a ride from a stranger, but it was never like I was standing on the side of the road with my thumb out trying to hitch a ride or something.
No,
You know.
no, I've never done that.
Never hitchhiked or taken a ride from
No,
a stranger.
man. We live in the age of Uber.
It's true.
I just fucking Uber. I'd rather pay someone
True.
than you don't
Well,
know what you
I
got.
guess if you have Ubered, then you have taken a ride from a stranger.
Yeah, but you paid for it, and there's a record. You're not
True,
just like sneaking into a van for for candy.
I guess not. No.
You know, there's a record. They see where you're going. They can like trace it.
There
Well,
was an
I
Uber
guess.
driver who went on a rampage. He just was driving for Uber, got a gun, and then just like all day driving around, just
Picking
Shoot.
people up, shooting them.
picking people up, talking to them, dropping them off, then going and shooting up in like an apartment complex, and then going, driving people, picking them up, dropping them off.
Oh, so that was like his time off. Like he was like, "Oh, I need a 10-minute break to go shoot this place up."
Supposedly he thought the devil was talking to him, but that's just BS. So.
Now, Mandy says, I have picked up hitchhikers.
I know. She told me this story.
Have you picked up a hitchhiker before?
No.
Have
I'm-
you ever picked
I'm
up
more-
a hitchhiker before?
Not a hitchhiker.
I'm more suspicious of people than Mandy is.
Right.
Mandy's like good heart, you know.
Heart of gold.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's like, "Oh, yeah, I help him out. That seems sad."
Right.
You know, and I see like I've seen girls or women walking down the street in the rain, and I think, man, they really need a ride. But then I'm like, yeah, but it'd be so creepy if I just pulled up like, hey, you
Yeah.
want to ride?
Yeah.
You know, maybe if I had, well, even if you were in the car, I couldn't see pulling over. I think women need to stick together in that way, you know? Like,
Yeah. I
'cause
agree. You should have pulled up and been like, Stevie, get out and walk with her.
yeah.
She needs strength in numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when I worked at Amazon, this lady, I guess her ride canceled on her or something, and I just offered to take her home, and she turned out to be like the mother of the owner of the dog that's the mayor in Rabbit Hash.
Oh,
So,
okay.
we had
Yeah,
a good
but
combo.
you guys kind of got a little bit of network in that case. You know, you kind of work with her.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
No, it's Amazon.
Yeah, it's so large.
Yeah, there's just. And then, I don't know, one time I was driving home and there was just somebody carrying groceries and it was cold, so I was like, hey, you want to ride home? She was like, sure, I live so-and-so here. And I was like, oh, sweet, I live around there too. And then I'd give a different girl a ride to work.
I'm gonna have to ask you about your. I mean, I guess they were unassuming women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever give a man a ride?
Like a grown man?
Yeah.
Depends, I guess.
Like, let's say you saw me walking down the street, like carrying bags of groceries or bags of something. We'll say 2 or 3 oddly shaped garbage bags.
No.
No.
Yeah. Your goatee says you're a rapist.
I know. I
The
get that.
garbage bags.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
Man.
Who is that tattooed freak?
I know.
He's probably gonna rape me.
No, you look perfectly capable. The most I would do is kind of slow and be like, hey, you okay? And if you needed me to call someone for you or something, but I wouldn't offer you to get in my car.
But as soon as I said, like, hey, can you give me a ride? You'd be like, and just
Yeah.
take off.
Yeah.
Be standing
As
there
your-
just looking
as your
at the
father-
dust.
I would prefer you not take those risks.
Right.
So I don't care what, they could be armless on the side of the road bleeding out. You just fucking keep going.
Well, I used to ask myself, what would my mom do? And,
Oh, no. What would Justin do is what you should say. And
well,
Justin
I try
said,
to find a middle ground.
yeah, Justin would drive off.
Yeah.
I'm a little more suspicious, though. So.
Yeah. I'll give a homeless person $1 and then I'm like, Eaton, don't tell my dad I did that.
Oh, don't get me started on.
On homeless people?
Yeah.
What's wrong with homeless people? What do you got
Don't give them
against homeless
goddamn
people?
nothing against homeless people, but paying them to be on the street. That's what I have a problem with. If you want to give,
That
to
was
the
you in the car in that video, wasn't it? That they just released.
Which one?
The people driving around with BB guns shooting homeless people.
Oh no,
that was you, wasn't it?
I'd never do
I
anything
fucking
like that.
knew it was you.
No, I would never do anything like that. But I mean, so obviously there's a market for people standing on the side of the road asking for change
Right.
because people keep paying them. But if you stopped paying them there, maybe if you really want to give to the homeless, you would support some, I don't know,
Homeless shelter?
homeless shelter or maybe give to a foundation.
I will say this, now is the time for homeless people to come up because everybody's at home still collecting their unemployment checks and shit and everybody's hiring. So now's the time for homeless people to step up and be like, yeah, I'll work for $15 an hour.
Right.
And then meanwhile, everybody else who's still collecting their, unemployment checks here in a couple months when that shit stops are going to be like, well, fuck, I need my job back, but I can't. Damn homeless guy took my job.
Well, they wouldn't be homeless then. Supposedly.
That ex-homeless guy took my job.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
upstanding citizen.
All right.
No, but you see them on the entrance ramps now,
Yeah.
and it's like their job.
The entrance or the exit ramps?
Both. Both.
So I usually see them at the exit.
Yeah,
ramps,
exit ramps.
Entrance ramp is just kind of they're already in that motion of driving on. I don't think they would stop anyway.
But every day I would go to work up by my work on the exit ramp. There was a couple, and they would show up about the same time I go to work, and they would kiss like they were leaving for work, going to the office, and she would take one corner and he would take the other, and that's what they did. They stood at the fucking corner all day waiting for people to give them money. And it's if you'd stop giving them the goddamn money, they might go somewhere else.
If you don't give them the money, they might go to other things like breaking and entering or robbery of some sort.
Well,
too.
they'll go to jail and they'll get
Only
3
if they-
square and
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
and maybe get a job or
3
learn a
squares and a
trade.
cot. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we're just perpetuating the problem. If you're giving money to people on the street, you're saying what you're doing is valuable. Let me keep paying you to do that. And that's not.
Have you ever thought about maybe picking up a homeless person, being like, "Hey,
No,
you want a job?"
I just told you that I'm suspicious.
You might be suspicious, but also, you kind of want to turn them into like honest people. Next time you run up on a homeless person, be like, "Hey, you know how to work bees? I'm gonna give you a job."
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No.
You wouldn't do that?
No.
Why not?
I mean, I'd buy him a sandwich or something, but I
Right.
wouldn't be like, "Here's my livelihood. You want to
Yeah.
look at it?"
Won't you take part? Yeah.
Like
mean,
I'd be like, "Hey," I wouldn't even let him mow my lawn, but
really?
well, then they know where you live.
Well, anybody could follow you and know where you live.
Yeah, but it's just different because, if that. I guess with also being a woman, it's different too. But you
Yeah.
just don't want to. Because then you're like, "Oh, I live here," and they can see like whether you live alone or whether you have like, that kind of
They might
stuff.
be
Yeah.
cool people, but in the context, you don't want to meet them there, right? So if I met someone at, say, like the library or something, and we had an interesting conversation, and it just turned out that they were homeless, but I liked them as a person, that it wouldn't matter if they were homeless, right? Wouldn't give a shit, and I might stick my neck out for someone like that.
Right.
But someone on the side of the street that I don't know, that I'm already questioning their life decisions, like
Right.
why are they standing at the corner of the street? Why is that their job? I don't think I would open up, that kind of dialogue.
Now, what if you seen somebody standing on the street corner and instead of being like, "Hey, I'm gonna offer you a job," you were like, "Hey, would you like to go get a bite to eat or something and just sit and talk for a while?" And like you sat and you talked to them and you got them a good meal and they were very grateful and
If
You
I
said
liked
thank you.
people, yes, I would
Okay.
do that.
okay,
I would do that. That's the type of thing I would do.
yeah,
But I probably wouldn't from there,
even if
what
you
I
like
mean?
you guys hit it off really well.
Yeah, I
and,
might
like-
try to find. I'd be like, "Hey, do you want me to find some resources for you?" Like if they're like, "Oh, here's my life," I'd be like, "Oh, okay, blah blah blah," But I wouldn't.
But that's not how you start a friendship.
No, it wouldn't
That
be
kind of dynamic is not
Yeah.
a good friendship. Like,
No.
hey, I have stuff that you need. Like,
Yeah, well, you're not playing the role of friend. You're playing the role of
Advocate
like
at
helper.
that point.
yeah.
Like, do you
So
need some? I'm gonna give you a meal. Do you need anything else? That
that's
I can
kind of
give you?
patronizing for them.
Well, I mean,
Because you're like, oh well, what you're doing is not good enough,
no, that's not it at all.
right? But what I'm saying is like meeting them outside of that context. Like if you met them, I don't know, if you were out bullshitting or at a coffee bar and they just had, you hit up a conversation. That's a little different dynamic. They
As
still
opposed to picking them up off
off the street.
off the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, I can see
Yeah,
how
but
that
how
could
are
be
you gonna?
patronizing.
If I met a homeless person at a coffee bar, I'd be more judgmental. I'd be like, "Why?"
You probably wouldn't know right off the bat they were homeless.
Yeah, assuming that you
Yeah.
don't know that, and then it just happens that they were homeless, I wouldn't hold it
Yeah,
against
they
them.
just happened to be buying a $7 Starbucks drink. I'd be like, "Hey, buddy."
Or maybe
$7 that
or-
they got from working the street corner.
Yeah.
Or they have water there, free water.
Yeah.
Say their dog needs a drink, they go in and get a couple waters and give some to their dog.
Yeah. So then it'd be contextual. But if I walked in and they were like,
Dude, homeless people have like the most obedient dogs.
yeah.
True that.
Yeah. Like
I've
really-
never noticed like a homeless person with a dog that the dog's like out of control and like won't move away from them or nothing. That dog fucking sits right there at their feet the whole time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They probably don't even like train them. They just because they're around them for so long.
Yeah. That or, they just found them and they were already trained.
That could have been.
Yeah.
Or because dogs can leave whenever they want, it's always the good ones that stay. So
Would you think a homeless person with a dog is more trustworthy than a homeless person without a dog?
Yeah.
I would think so too, based on the fact that dogs can leave anytime they want, really.
dogs can leave anytime they want, and serial killers murder animals. So two.
Well, there's
Two
a
good
spectrum,
words.
though. I mean, there could be a serial killer that likes dogs.
There could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they a lot of times don't they have families, serial killers?
Yeah, but
Most times, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like,
That's where they draw the line. Like, don't kill my family, but
I don't think it's because they give a shit about their family. I think it's just to keep up appearances.
Mm.
Or
True.
maybe they could care about their family, but not in like the way you care about your family, you know?
I don't think it's like a on-off kind of thing, like sociopath. I think they're like autism or any other disorder. I think there's a spectrum, so they probably still feel emotions,
Oh yeah.
or at least empathy.
But you can't be an average person who goes out and rapes and murders and hides the body and then come back to your family and not be different and not see them different. You know, if you look at people in that way, then it's, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you got a point there. To a certain degree.
I feel bad when I smoke cigarettes,
I feel
but I
bad
still
when you
do
smoke
it.
cigarettes.
So maybe like they feel bad killing people, but they still do it. It's kind of a
Yeah,
weird.
no.
It's like a killing addiction.
If they
Yeah.
felt bad
Yeah.
about it to that extent, then they would get help. But most
But
serial killers
how
do
would
it.
you get help, though?
Like,
Because obviously, if you want to get help, then you want to stop doing it and you want to be a productive member of society. But getting help would mean that you're going to turn yourself in and you're not going to be a productive member of society. You're going to go
well,
to jail.
it's not like you're walking along and then you accidentally kill somebody. It's that you get the urges to. And when you get those urges is when you would go and seek help.
But let's say you've already done it like 20 or 30 times.
Well, then you
Yeah.
obviously don't have any fucking remorse for it, or you wouldn't have fucking done it in the first place.
But let's say you grew remorse for it.
Then you should turn yourself in if you're actually remorseful and give some families some peace.
Yeah, at that point, I guess you're right. Yeah.
I do think that you can be remorseful and still have the craving to do it and
Yeah.
still do it. Just like similarly, like eating chips. I know I shouldn't do it, but it tastes good.
Yeah.
Like anything else. I'm not saying killing is. I mean, that's a big hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an intense hobby, and you'd have to really be devoted to it. But I just can't see someone being purely not empathetic and still operating in society. So there has to be some empathy there in order for them to not throw red flags. That's just my take on it.
What if there was a serial killer and they got into an accident or something and got amnesia
Mm-hmm.
and didn't remember any of it?
That was a TV show, I think.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, this guy went around. He was a serial killer,
Yeah.
and then something happened to him, and then there was a girl. She got amnesia. He got amnesia, and then they hit it off, and they were doing pretty good. You know, they were
Yeah.
boyfriend girlfriend almost, and then the memories started coming back, and he remembered that he was like trying to kill her. It was a pretty good movie.
Was it?
Yeah.
You don't remember the name of it, though?
No, I can't remember the name of it.
I know that now that you kind of say that, I do know of a movie. It's actually one of my favorite movies where it's kind of like that. The Number 23
Oh,
with Jim Carrey.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't mean to spoil it for anybody, but he was like a killer, and then he tried to kill himself, jumped out of a window, woke
Got it.
up and didn't remember anything, and then started to, remember things and realized he was a killer.
Mm.
Yeah. But if there was ever not even a killer, just a person who had done some bad shit and then they got into an accident and got amnesia, should that person be charged for those crimes?
Yeah.
You think so? Even though they don't remember it, and
Yeah.
they're very obviously a different person after the accident.
Oh, yeah.
It depends.
Depends.
No, they're because it always calls into question, like, are they playing you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
So, like, yeah, they're done. Doesn't matter amnesia or not.
Really?
They have the tendencies. We put people in jail not because they deserve to go to jail, but to protect society from them.
Let's say they'd done some really bad shit, They got into an accident, got amnesia, and then, they didn't get caught or whatever until 20 years later. And in that 20 years after they got amnesia, they did like some really good things to help people. Like what if they
No.
became like a, a mayor or a governor or some shit.
No, it doesn't matter how many good things you do. If you kill someone, you've taken their life. So,
But it's not really the same person, though.
it is.
I mean,
It's-
physically, yes. Mentally, no.
it doesn't matter, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
So, like,
What do you say, Stevie?
I don't know. Depends. There's
Yeah.
been a couple. There's like the one case where the guy sleep murdered his parents-in-law.
Sleep murdered?
Yeah, he like murdered them while he was asleep, supposedly.
I say that'd be awfully hard to prove that it was that you were asleep.
Yeah. It was a pretty
Unless you had-
interesting-
Unless you had a known sleepwalking background.
Yeah.
But even then, be a little shady.
Yeah.
similarly, there was a guy that had really bad epilepsy to the point where it was like ruining his life. So he went in and they cut out that part of the brain that was causing the epilepsy,
Yeah.
and it like drastically changed his inhibitions, like things that supposedly keep you from doing bad things.
Right.
And I guess he started not being able to control impulses, and he started downloading a bunch of child porn and all that stuff. And the feds finally caught up to him, and he got tried for it. And it was like a big, deal because he had just obviously gotten this surgery, and it had changed his personality. And should he be charged with, child pornography? That was like
Right.
It was a pretty tough. They ended up convicting him because he did it at home with no remorse or any worry about getting caught.
Right.
He just fucking did it. He was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna download this shit. I'm gonna watch it. Which was kind of shows that he wasn't in the right mind. But at the same time, he didn't do it at work. So had he had downloaded all this shit at work too, then it would have showed he really just didn't have any consideration of the consequences.
Right.
But because he knew that there would be consequences at work, he must have known that there would be consequences at home. So he ended up getting convicted of that.
That makes sense. My question would be, if the surgery caused him to lose his inhibitions and do things, I guess without questioning or thinking about it, my question would be, were the impulses there before that and he just never acted on them?
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
There was
I w-
the
It's kind of weird, thought, what would you do? If
Yeah.
you didn't have any inhibitions.
That's true.
I
a
don't know.
lot of murder.
A lot of
A
murder.
lot of really messed up things. There was the guy who I might have this inverted, but he was like a good guy and a family man, and then he had this tumor grow, and he started molesting his daughter, and then when they took the tumor out, he stopped or something like that, and it was on his brain or something, and
Man.
I think I do remember something. No, I think that was an episode of SVU where it was
well, those are usually
He-
based on real
yeah,
things.
the guy had some kind of disease, or maybe it was a tumor in the brain or something that was causing him to do a bunch of fucked up shit. But then they turned it around and was like, oh, well, this could have been avoided had so-and-so done this, a doctor had done this, back then, and removed the tumor or seek treatment for whatever disease he had.
So they pinned it on the doctor.
No, but I think
No.
the guy ended up getting off.
Yeah, man. Isn't it
Yeah.
crazy how it seems so fickle? You just get hit in the head wrong, and the next thing you know is you're watching child porn.
Yeah.
Fuck. How thin of a line is it? Before you know, we just like lose our shit. It's got to be more resilient than getting
I
hit in
don't
the
know.
head.
I don't know.
A magnet gets put next to my head and my arm twitches, so
Yeah.
bigger magnet, I'm like murdering.
It's like
I'll keep that in mind.
you're gonna superpowers
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. Super Stevie.
Have you heard about like acquired savant syndrome?
No.
There's these guys that, you know, one guy got like hit in the head, and you know what a savant is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they got like the Rain Man,
Mhm.
where he could just spout shit.
Yeah.
Well, apparently this shit can happen from like strokes and getting hit on the head and shit.
Yeah.
There's been cases of savant syndrome, acquired savant syndrome. Most are born in, like it's a severe version of autism or something.
I think everybody's brain is capable of like photographic memory and like being able to play back like events as they happened in your head. But I just don't think everybody is equipped to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Your brain like weeds out
Yeah.
information you don't use,
Right.
which makes it more efficient. I think that's why they have so many problems with like,
Do you think it would be more efficient weeding out the problems?
yeah.
Or do you
So-
think it would be better because it would keep track of every little detail of every little thing?
Well, if you
You're shaking
So-
your head. You don't think that's true?
No.
No?
Imagine you had a filing system, and
Right.
in order to look up like memories and shit, you almost gotta have like a search criteria.
Right.
So imagine that.
But imagine you had a filing system with the world's absolute fastest fucking search engine that could pull things up
Yeah, you wouldn't be able
at
to
the
find
click
anything.
of a hand, though, or the snap of a fingers, you know?
Well, what if you had that, but it was on like an old computer that wasn't meant to have that kind of capability? So then it's just overheating and overprocessing, and eventually it's just not going to work right.
Yeah, how much of your other stuff are you devoting
Yeah.
to that kind of thing? Like these savants usually, they can't take care of themselves. They don't do like normal social interaction.
Right.
So it sounds like a malfunction. Like, so if you don't use information, your brain's like, well, you just don't need it.
Right.
Like you don't call a memory up for years and years and years, and you just stop. You don't need it anymore. It's like going through and doing spring cleaning. You know, I think that process happens every night too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either strengthen memories that you need that you've recalled that day, or you weed out the ones you don't. Brain circuits.
Makes sense, I guess.
If you lose an arm, you don't want the circuitry to control your arm to still be there. You don't need it anymore. You want that devoted to something else. Same thing.
So you're saying that there is like a data cap on how much data your brain can hold?
No, there's a pruning process to make everything more efficient. Like you prune data that you don't need.
Right. But isn't all data important at some point?
Some's more important
No?
than others. Is it
I will say-
relevant? Is it relevant for now? What day when you were a kid you lost your front tooth? Like when are you ever going to use that data?
You're not, really.
I do
Ever.
remember that
But
day,
what-
though.
Yeah,
I do remember.
Say, wouldn't you like to be able to recall that at some point later in life, though?
No.
probably not. Like what are you going to use that for?
Just for your own nostalgia.
There's no utility to it though.
No.
That's what pictures are for.
True.
Pictures and video. Because then your brain can allocate resources to other more important things.
Right.
So we also have memories that really stick out to us.
But then if you've got pictures and video of like a memorable time in your life, and you think to yourself, well, I'm not going to have to remember all this because I've got pictures and video of it. But then you're constantly looking at those pictures and videos, then you're going to keep those memories in your brain.
Yeah.
So-
So that's how you would select the ones you want to keep that may not be useful.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen that 1 second per day app where you can, like, it prompts you and you take video for 1 second every day, and then you can like see a whole slew, like a whole year would be like 300 and something seconds.
365 seconds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you would go through, you watch that, and they would drum up all your memories from that year.
Really?
It's a pretty good idea, yeah.
I don't think a second is long enough, though. I would forget. I'd be like, that's the 18th tree I've seen.
Well, you only get 1 second per day, so you got to pick something that stands out to you.
Yeah, but when every day is like, not every day, but like, when you have a repetitive or monotonous lifestyle,
I never could stick to it. I tried. It's a bitch. You
Really?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, yeah, I could easily do that. You know, I could probably even do like 5 or 10 seconds, just give a recap of my day. And then I had to think about it. I was like, after like the 5th or 6th day, I'd probably like forget. You know?
What's Dank say?
So that's why our life flashes before your eyes when you're about to die. It's your brain trying to recall if you have faced this situation before, and if so, how to get out of it. That makes sense.
I
Yeah.
think a better idea would just be, like, if you really wanted to recall memories in life, to just keep like a fucking journal.
Yeah.
I did that for a long time, and
Yeah.
things I've forgotten I read, and then I'm like, what? That happened?
I tried that too.
I gave a shit about that? Really?
I tried that. I just can't stay motivated. And like the next day, I would feel different, and I would go back and I'd be like, oh, that's good. I'd rip it out, throw it away. So journals never worked for me.
That's why you can't look at it until like a year later. I
Yeah.
would keep it, like, I don't do it anymore, but I would keep it in like a Word document on my phone or a Google document.
Makes sense.
Here's a weird thought.
Okay, hit me.
Well, okay, let's premise this. So like a lot of times, brain to brain, a thought that I have looks very similar in your brain as it does mine. So with that in mind, does that mean that every thought that could possibly be thought is already in my head, just waiting to be thought?
It could be.
Because all the encoding in my brain,
It's already there.
it's already there. It could already happen.
You just have to put the thought or the thought in a sequence.
Use the circuit.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thought.
That's
I
a
think-
possibility.
Kinda weird, yeah.
It'd be like, has every word that could ever be written been written, because we have keyboards that are capable of just putting them in that stroke order. So I don't think technically it has. I think it has the potential to.
I'm trying to think of how that would be different.
Well, they do kind of create words, you know.
Because like the computer has, I guess if you had infinite storage space, you could potentially have every possible thought or every possible word order in a computer, but your brain doesn't change, but yet every thought that's ever been, like, it changes like the circuits, but you have a finite number of neurons.
Mm-hmm.
And given that you have every thought that could be thought already stored in there,
Mm-hmm.
it just needs to happen. I don't know.
I don't think it's every thought. It's not like you're having phrases. It's like you have different things to connect to make the phrase.
Right. But they're
So-
there.
The possibility is there. The phrase itself is not. You have to connect the pieces.
Right.
So it's not that all of the thoughts have already been programmed in your brain. It's that they have the potential to be there. You just have to do it yourself. So really, they don't exist yet. You have to make them exist.
Well, they kind of do, because the circuits are there.
The circuits are there to make it work, but
That's kind of like saying, I don't think I could ever kill anybody, but it's possible that I could because the thought's already there, you know? Uh-oh. Oh, this isn't good.
Oh, shit.
When Mandy's comments
Oh.
are,
Sorry, Mandy.
you know. Let's see, I thought this was
Murders.
supposed to be an episode about murder. Where's this hippie bullshit coming from? I mean, do we need to
Jerry
bust out
kind
like
of
some
brought it back
incense?
full
and-
circle just now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, just because you don't think you could kill somebody doesn't mean you couldn't. Because, you know, your brain's capable of doing it. The pathways are there.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that Jerry's programmed already to murder. It just means that he could make it happen, or he could not let those neurons keep firing and focus his attention somewhere else.
That's true.
Hopefully Jerry doesn't get a tumor.
Yeah, if I get a tumor, we're fucked. I don't know. Yesterday, I felt like I could fucking murder somebody if it would just like make me not feel like absolute shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have murdered
So
a
we see
nun.
that Jerry, Mom was talking earlier about what the difference between, or you were, the difference between someone who would commit suicide versus kill somebody. We see that Jerry would be the person who would kill somebody.
Only if it would like have made me not hurt, you know.
So if you were hurting emotionally, you'd be like,
Oh, no,
if that bitch were dead, I wouldn't feel this way. And then you'd go kill.
He'd be like, well, fuck. Now my life's ruined. I might as well do it to myself.
Yeah, possibly. You know. Either
So
way,
anyway, how can we bring this back to murders?
we just kind of did there,
Mm-hmm.
kind of.
I mean, yeah, we don't really have an obligation to bring it back to murder, so.
Yeah. Let's end it on this though. Everybody's got that one person, I think, that if you could just murder them and get them off the face of the planet, you would.
No,
No?
no,
Not one single person.
no.
I'm not asking you to like admit who it is or anything.
I can think of someone.
See? I'm with you, Justin.
Yeah.
I think
I'm with ya.
if I had like children, I would probably feel that way. But I don't.
You're saying you would murder your children?
No. If I
Those
had
little fuckers.
if
Yeah.
I had something or someone that I loved more than life itself,
Right.
then maybe. But as it stands, I have too much pity for people and empathy for people.
What if someone like kicked your dog?
I would fucking hate them, but I wouldn't want to kill them.
What if they killed your dog?
I would fucking hate them.
So
but
you wouldn't kill him?
I would pity them.
I'm still not making that connection here. If you had children, then you could kill somebody?
Yeah. Like
For-
if someone
for
hurt
them.
my kids
Oh, okay.
and
Gotcha.
I loved them more than life itself.
I was just
then-
thinking like, you just have to have a child to want to murder somebody? Is that like a prerequisite or something?
But apparently, like every parent, every good parent I've ever met, like would kill for their kids. So,
Well, yeah,
so
I can agree to that. Sure, you can too.
Mandy would kill the lot of us.
And smile while doing it,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were kidding. Don't joke with us, Mandy.
yeah. Murder is
She's
a very
crazy.
serious topic. You can't joke about it. When you joke about it, Stevie gets mad. We proved that like 5 minutes into the show. But,
All right, Dank, I'm going to send you my resume.
yeah.
Get me in with SpaceX.
Yeah. Dank, you need to hit me up, man. I'm going to be inside your town soon. So hit me up, bro.
Oh, you're going
I am going, yeah.
by yourself?
Most likely. At least
Damn, dude. Let's just go down and hit
I've already
Red
got
River
the,
Gorge.
got the plane tickets booked, the
We could go
hotel's
out.
booked, rental cars booked.
this
It's
is
all
like the
booked, man.
opposite of the, like you know how usually it's like a fan on the internet finds someone and they're like obsessed, and then this is like
Yeah. This
The
is
reversal?
famous
the
person.
reversal. This is like, Dank, you need to hit me up, man.
My greatest fan. I got to go
Yeah.
see him.
I gotta meet this guy and shake his hand.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know, if you want to hook up or something, you know, I'm gonna be in LA for a couple days, like 4 or 5 days, something like that. So if you want to get together, man, hit me up. We'll have some lunch, dinner, whatever. Walk around. I want to hit up all the kind of the touristy spots and some of the non-touristy spots. So
Watch him be in prison,
it could be.
making license plates. For
I do want to
SpaceX.
go by like San Quentin, and just like I'm sure they won't let me in, but you know
Yeah.
I want to drive by and get like my picture with the sign and shit. Be kind of cool. There's a lot of like movie filming places I want to kind of check out, like the House from Friday.
Mm.
That'd be pretty cool. But
It's Friday. You ain't got no
job,
Ain't
you
got shit
get
to
to do exactly.
I'm going to get you high. You ever see that one?
Nope.
Oh, that's a classic. You should watch it.
They tore down the house from Family Matters, so I don't really have any
Oh,
famous
man.
buildings I'd want to see.
Of all
That
the famous
fucking
buildings, you'd pick
show.
Family Matters? Really?
If I could rip that show from...
You don't like Family Matters?
No.
Why not?
Because they have a unrealistic view of how families work.
How?
They're like,
Have you-
ooh,
have you
hurt
never
my
watched-
feelings. We should communicate. I love you even if you hurt my feelings. And Justin's like, screw that. We don't talk.
No, we talk. It's just unrealistic.
How's it unrealistic though?
It just is.
You're
man.
not making any sense. Like I don't like. Is any TV show realistic when it comes to like trying to teach a lesson?
Well, they should.
Especially like a family show.
That show was garbage.
How is it garbage? Urkel was the bomb.
Nah, this is all garbage.
Man,
Fucking 90s, man. That's some terrible
Family Matters was a great show.
terrible
What are you talking about?
TV show. Watch it again.
Don't watch
Tell
it
me.
now. Don't watch it now.
Watch it again and tell me the same thing. Now you got an assignment this weekend.
It can't be that bad.
Oh, it's fucking brutal, terrible.
No.
That
The only thing, I watched it again later on as a teenager, and I still appreciated the morals it tried to teach.
See,
It's just,
That's what you got to look at.
it was
you
just
know?
the misogyny of the 90s that got me. I was like, oh, I don't really like this. But other than that,
garbage.
I think anything on TV is like at any point in time is very misogynistic.
yeah,
It's what sells.
that's why I don't like movies.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know.
But yeah, especially the first season I really liked.
How many seasons did they have?
I don't know, a lot.
Yeah, I would imagine a lot.
But it was actually pre-Urkel that I really liked it. I
Pre-Urkel?
still liked, Urkel was my favorite as a kid, but like
Was he-
pre-Urkel was still good.
Was he not in season 1?
I think he might have made an appearance like once or twice, but he became like the center of the show after a while.
Yeah,
You know?
because that's what makes money.
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
the whole family thing, I really liked it, and I liked it as a kid.
Yeah. So he says, if you're here on a weekday, you can stop by my shop. If it's a weekend, I'll chill with you in Hollywood or something. Well, I'm going to be there from Saturday to Wednesday. So your call, man. Email me, kyhbb.com@gmail.com. You can email me there. We can set something up, man. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
Fuck yeah.
My topic next time is going to be Family Matters. I've decided.
Fuck yes, I agree. Family Matters all the way.
Yeah.
My next topic's going to be why fucking Michael Keaton is the best fucking Batman.
Your topic's next, right?
Yeah.
Next
So be
week.
prepared to talk about Michael Keaton.
And then
Yeah.
mine's after that. So tune in 2 weeks from now.
To talk about
Why Michael Keaton was the worst Batman.
Right.
Justin's
We're
just
gonna-
going to be writing down all his little notes on how to counterpoint you, and then you'll have to wait 2 weeks to counterpoint him.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Hey, Dank, if you're a creeper, don't kill Jerry, please.
That means a lot, man. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
Please don't kill Jerry.
appreciate
The
that.
capability is in your brain.
True. And he seems to be very smart, so,
Yeah.
you know, he builds stuff for SpaceX. Apparently he's a business owner. He has his own shop.
Fuck yeah.
So
Go Dank.
he's kind of like Batman. What if I meet him and he's Michael Keaton? And he's just like, you know what? I always thought I was the best Batman. I was like, you goddamn right you are, Michael Keaton.
All right, are we ending this?
Yep, we are going to get the fuck out of here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you like us, tell a friend. If you hate us, tell 10 friends. That being said, I'm Jerry Saylor.
I'm Stevie.
I'm Justin.
We are the fuck out. Stay sober, Toby.